Everybody to Paul's Garage. This is just a short video on how to change the electronic door mechanism in a 1987 Renault Alpine GTA. This GTA is in Australia, and I've had some problems with the left hand or the passenger side as we drive on the right in Australia. Door mechanism. The actuator has been playing up for some time and has finally given up the ghost. I did look online to see if I could find something in regards to how to do them on the Alpine. There was nothing, so I thought it was about time there was something. Now with the GTA, the door lock mechanism is not in the door. It is actually in this panel here. In the back part of the car, underneath the back window. Now, to get it out, you'll be required to remove some of the side trims, rear trims, and this trim here next to the seat. Now, it says in the manual that there's 6 bolts to take the seat out. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any of the bolts, bar the 2 under here, and I was unable to take the seat out. However, with a little bit of mucking around, I managed to get this panel out. Once you get the panel out, the locking mechanism is actually quite accessible. It's got 3 cables running to it, plus some locking bars, and it unscrews from the side, which I'll show you in just a moment. Okay, so this is the B pillar on the car with the lock mechanism, as you can see on the outside of the door. It's the push button to gain access. Now the lock itself is held in by these 3 screws here, okay, plus a 4th one here which holds this cover on. Okay, so to get it, undo the 3 bolts, then come in around the side, and the lock unplugs, and you take off the locking bars from there. Also in there is a cable for the emergency lock for when the power goes out, and that of course is situated by the side of the door. So nothing on this lock was working anymore, so I was unable to lock the car or open the door via the electronic door lock. So it was decided time has come to do something about that. Okay, so here we are on the bench with the original lock, one of the actuators which is on the back, and a new actuator which I have placed on the front to operate the lock. Now this is the original actuator, and as you can see, it's just not playing the game. I did have a spare one which was doing exactly the same thing, which I bought in a heap of parts. Now I did cut that apart to have a look. Now you'll see that none of the cogs are moving. This little electric motor here, which you can take out, is not operating, and it's all a little bit stiff in there. Now this appears to be some sort of clutch, but it obviously it's not working. So that's what it looks like inside. Now these retail for about 90, I think it's 92 euros, or round about 150 Australian dollars. Now these just don't come apart. I had to cut that apart with a small Dremel. So that's that one. So once again, the original one, and it's not really flash. So we'll put that one aside. Some time ago I bought a central locking kit for my son's car. It was only a 2-door car, an older car, and there was 2 of these actuators left over. As you can see, that one there is working. Well, you would hope so, it's brand new. The only difference, besides the fitting points and the shape and everything, is this piece here on the end. It swivels. Okay, so we'll need to glue that in place a bit later. So what you need to do by the way, these are $25 each, up against about $150 for these ones. Okay, they're very rare too, those original ones. That's if you can get them. Now what you will need to do, and I've already done this, is you will need to spot weld a piece of metal in the hollow section of this frame, because they're the original bolting points. They won't work on this new actuator. Once you've welded a bit of metal in place, you can mount the actuator in place using the same 8mm hex head self-tapping screws, which will tap into the plastic of it and bolt it up. Now once you've got it in place and you've got the arm in place, as I said before, this end swivels. So what I've done is I've got some 5-minute arrol dye, poured it into the small hole in there, swivel it around until the glue had gone right the way around, and as you can see, it's gone right the way around and come out on this side. So once that's in place, I left that to set, and this now all bar the different wiring harness. The green wire is an earth, and the blue wire is the power. The only thing I'm going to have to do with that is when I get it to the car, I'm going to have to put some spade connectors on them to plug that into the wiring harness. Okay, so what I can show you now is I have the actuator here set up on a small 12-volt battery, and we'll just test it and make sure it's working properly. Okay, and as you can see, the $25 actuator versus the $150 actuator works just as well. Okay, so here we are back at the car. Now what I've done, because you can't get the small spade fittings to fit in here anymore, I've had to cut that connector off, and I don't know if you can see, one wire has got a very small green mark on it. That green mark is your earth wire. So as we discussed earlier, the green wire on the actuator is your earth. So that will go to there. I've already plugged it in, and as you can see, when I operate the switch on the door, it's now working again. So what we need to do now is put it back in the hole where it came from, just loosely, and we need to reconnect all the latch fittings back up to it. This one here is for the lock tell, so it comes up into the little clear knob. Okay, so that's got to be connected back on, plus all the others. So here we are, we've got the lock back in. Now what you need to do first is you need to put the lock in place. Make sure you've got all the wiring connected up. Put the lock in place, loosely fix it in position, and then put all the locking bars back on, including the one that comes up here for the lock telltale. Then once you've got them all back in place, it's just a matter of doing all the screws back up, putting the cover back on, making sure at first you've actually found all the screws that hold everything back together. Okay, so basically that's it, and there it is, the door's working again. So that's all I'll show you now. It's just a matter now of putting the trim back together, and the job's finished. Of course, don't forget to connect up your emergency lock, and Bob's your uncle. She's all done. thanks for watching. I'll be making a couple more of these videos if you want to see them. Have a look at my my channel. There's a few videos there on the Alpine, on the Alpines at the Alpine Way in 2018 from Australia, plus a few other videos as well. Leave any comments you may have, or anything that you may think I've done wrong in the comments below. Thank you.